Controlled structure demolitions can leave even the most uninterested viewers buzzing with breathtaking excitement. But they could also have you scratching your head and wondering, what the hell was the plan here?
Oh no!
Here? Or here even? Today, we bring you the best, out with the old, in with the new structure demolitions ever caught on camera. From ridiculous cooling tower teardowns to successful power plant implosions and everything in between. Let's kick things off with this ill-advised karate-style chimney removal that went exactly how you would have imagined. That looks to be the most plausible outcome of playing Jenga with a crane arm. Here we see Silo 1 go according to plan, then Silo 2, three, and even 4 follow suit. But then Silo 5 just decides it ain't ready to go. Gandalf was probably somewhere in the background mouthing, "You shall not fall any further." This power cooling tower went on a more chaotic tumble than planned. And as bonus content, we get a demonstration of how loud you need to be to drown out a very noisy implosion. All it took for this flawless Daytona Speedway skybox implosion was 25 pounds of explosives and a dozen nitroglycerin-based dynamite-filled holes. Easy peasy. Having stood for over a century, the historic Budd Wheel Factory on Detroit's east side was finally brought down in a gigantic cloud of dust.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Poor excavator had to take one for the team. In case you were wondering, the grain elevator was pushed that way because there were power lines to the left, just out of frame.
There she goes!
Demolition projects that require scrambling away from the crumbling structure fall outside the risk appetite of someone as clumsy as I am. But evidently, it's just another day in the office for these guys. structural failure of this magnitude must be super embarrassing for the engineers behind the math. That is, of course, if there was any.
Oh no!
A silo demo project on a farm in Shady Lane, Baraboo produced this picture-perfect Leaning Tower of Wisconsin. Even if it was only temporary. It took over 500 pounds of dynamite to employ this 56-year-old building. A penny for the thoughts of the wind turbine that had to watch its closest pal get taken down. This old water tower teardown in Corning, Iowa made quite the shockwaves. Literally. Imagine SpongeBob at the Krusty Krab explaining to Mr. Krabs that he was late because of the huge chunks of debris falling right out of nowhere? Boy, that camera must have taken hours to dig out. Of all the epic ways I've seen a man-made structure demolished, this has to be one of the most visually satisfying.
Here she goes.
Here it comes.
Cedar Point Space Spiral had been open since 1965, but it was retired in 2012 to make room for the Gatekeeper roller coaster.
That was awesome.
Freaking cool.
In July 2021, Vanderbilt University safely brought down the Carmichael Towers East to make room for a new residential college. Absorbing shockwaves from massive structure demolitions was definitely above this tripod's pay grade. This 9-story weld wheel building demo was part of a $500 million redevelopment of Kansas City's Central West Bottoms.
You're good.
Could someone explain to me why the guy behind the camera was panting so heavily? Here's some multi-angle footage of the moment downtown Nashville skyline bid farewell to the Lifeway Tower. After connecting two Pittsburgh neighborhoods for almost a century, the Greenfield Bridge came crashing down in just a few seconds. Here's a clip of the final arch of Kansas City's Buck O'Neill Bridge getting plunged into the Missouri River in one piece. Nothing to see here, just different angles of another Kansas City bridge getting demolished span by span to make room for a newer structure. Moving on from Kansas City bridge demos, this was one pretty uneventful demolition. Up next, a crane arm doing the too small celebration on a silo it took down. At least, that's what it looks like to me. Well, that's understandable. They've just witnessed a chimney demo that could pass as a sideways rocket launch. Nice to see a crane get demolished for a change. Structural demos like this one are the perfect example to express how much faster light travels compared to sound.
I don't know.
Numbers in it. There we go. Get it, Yale?
Wow. Wow.
All right.
That dude made the recording seem like as much work as tipping the 800-barrel silo over. Compared to some of the footage we've seen so far, this was a rather placid bridge demo. A silo demo in congested spaces like this must require extreme levels of precision. It's a little strange that the strobe beacon was not removed before this cell tower demolition.
Perfect.
Silo demolitions are slightly less fun to watch without grown men wielding sledgehammers and running for cover. Case in point. And exhibit number 3. This demo had no sledgehammers, but at least we got a wrecking ball and a demolition worker scrambling for safety. An official agency in Pennsylvania brought and imploded this 6-story building to provide more parking for its employees. There's something oddly enjoyable about watching a cooling tower bend during an implosion.
Y'all ready? Yep. 1, 2, 3.
What happens if all 3 cables don't snap at the same time? The Iron Bridge Power Station demolition was not only satisfying to watch, it also made room for 1,000 new homes and 200,000 square feet of employment space. Next up is this footage of a grain elevator and loading gallery demolition taken from the other side of the East London Harbour.
Afvallie en de afvallie aangenomen. Ja, dat is in ieder geval dezelfde vallie.
The military ocean terminal building at Bayonne was imploded in 2021 to make way for a large UPS distribution center. Ironically, this structure was originally built to withstand explosives during World War II. To describe this silo drop.
Perfect.
We'll leave the first one to your imagination. We managed to find multiple angles of the exact moment a 300-foot high-pressure fire water tower came crashing down in a controlled demolition. That's a tad more grain dust than I was expecting to see. This grain elevator demo had me genuinely worried for that tree. That grain would have been much more fun if they had left the water in. Until its implosion in 2011, the Cargill Federal Grain Elevator had been a feature of Calgary's skyline dating back to pre-World War I times. The St. Chad's Hotel in Blackpool was demolished in 2023 to make room for a more modern hotel. Credit where it's due, this high-reach operator pulled that building apart top to bottom in almost no time.
What is happening?
Great question. Finally, that fall seemed to take forever. This was one close shave that had no business being that close. It's impossible to see from this angle, but an excavator was connected to its water tower via steel cables and then reversed until it pulled the legs out from underneath the tower. A few days after filling this silo, the farm owner found it leaning against the silos right next to it. He decided to bring it down immediately to prevent it from crumbling into neighboring structures. You gotta wonder, was that somewhat uncomfortable for the new bridge to watch the demolition of the bridge it replaced? Still on the subject of watching your predecessor get blown up, here we have multiple angles of the old Barkley Lake Bridge demo from 2018. Here, we've got another multi-angle demolition coverage, this time for the Genoa Station No. 3 power plant and 500-foot smokestack demolition. Now this is what some would call a perfect silo takedown. Not sure you could say the same for this one. This water tower at the Twinsburg stamping plant was split right open with a blowtorch shortly before the automotive factory got closed.
Here she goes.
boys will be boys. With a capacity of 1 million bushels, the Pioneer Grain Elevator was the largest wooden crib elevator ever constructed in Manitoba. It went down in 2022 to make way for a new high-throughput grain elevator. Wooden grain elevators like this one in Brandon, MB were built to almost withstand a demolition.
There she goes!
Next up is another elevator takedown, though this one's of a much different kind. What in the Demogorgon was that roof flap? These swings are not as simple as they look. Wrecking ball demolitions require crane operators with the highest levels of skill and experience. Went right through it ninja style. The 39-story former Trump Plaza implosion was by far the largest demolition project ever done in Atlantic City. It's definitely the biggest we've seen so far in this video. My OCD is gonna keep me up all night wondering why those 3 sections weren't even. He's right. That in fact was a beautiful demo aerial shot. Up next is a demolition of the Kiel power plant, one of the many German coal-fired power stations that have been shut down in recent years. It took more than 400 pounds of dynamite to implode this high-rise building in downtown Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh my God. That looked amazing.
You're watching simultaneous smokestack demolition at the Elmer Smith plant in Kentucky. Whoa! As for what you're hearing, well, apologies for that. And then there were 2-ish. We decided to end this video with an expertly executed demolition of multiple structures at the Ensdorf power plant, filmed from a plateau over 2 kilometers away. click off yet. If you love our videos, subscribe now and hit that bell. And wait, there's more videos for you right here on the screen. Just click on the one that grabbed your interest and enjoy. See you there!